We just finished the Mountain Mafia's Havoc Hills course, and what a great battle that was. After 2 events, we have a tie for first place between Brian Foss and Leroy Leam. Brent Harold sits in third. We're about to begin one of the spectator favorites. This is the Amsoil Hill and Hold track. Get ready for some vehicular violence.
Hill and hole this year. From what I can see from camp, it looks like a major change there. Looks like a guy could carry a lot of speed into the jumps without circumstances of flat landing, damaging parts. I could see a lot of guys trying to carry a lot of speed with the berms and stuff this year.
Similar to a motocross track, timed event, big air, big corners.
We got some wicked jumps, you know, like this is by far the biggest tables we got in our whole race season.
I like that course because I can feel the buggy, I guess, and just go, not have to worry about anything in my way.
The jumps, man, they look sick, so we're hoping to get some big air and just get her done and see what happens.
Hill and Hole's about to start, rain's coming down. Let's see who's up first. Right on, Justin Haft. I couldn't think of a better driver to kick this course off. I think he's about to send it.
Wow, he did send it, Ben. That is a huge hit. Not too sure if he meant to go that big right off the bat.
This track is nasty. We had a perfect condition for practice. The drivers loved it. Mother Nature had different ideas.
The obvious is the standing water, Ben. You see it in all of the corners. These guys are going to have to choose different lines, whether it's through the water or not. But here he is, Justin Haft, completely railing these corners.
That's right, taking it a little bit more carefully over that jump number 1, as we like to call it.
I feel like a lot of these guys, especially with these track conditions, they're going to probably start off a little bit slower and then move their way lap for lap and get faster and faster.
That's correct. As they start making laps, they tend to learn the track and their speed increases.
There's nothing better to watch than Justin Haft four-wheel steer around those bank corners.
Well, like they say, nobody holds the throttle down like Justin Haft.
Killer couple of first laps from Justin so far, splashing through that water, getting some visibility issues with that engine bay getting wet.
He is choking on smoke. It's got to be hard to see out there. Smoke coming out of the engine bay. Oh, right into that puddle. Nonetheless, what an awesome show from Justin Haft. He's going to regain his composure. This is what it's all about, hill and hole.
Visibility is going to be a huge issue for these competitors. I'm sure a lot of these guys are watching exactly what Justin just did and how his run went.
Justin Haft with an 86.8 second run. All right, Brent Harold, team change order. Time to throw down. He knows he can't make any mistakes if he wants to do well in this event.
Smart driving is going to be key for these laps. It is raining like cats and dogs out here right now, and he definitely needs to stay consistent and smooth.
Yeah, Max, smooth is key. Brett is flying right now.
This is the fastest lap of the day. This competition is truly turning into a dogfight.
No doubt, Mac. The overall standings right now are very close. Brett needs to stay in control and keep smooth.
Brett spoke to me earlier today about his strategy. He needs to stay low on his jumps, which he did right there. Take these berms high and stay out of that standing water. He's going to have a fast lap here.
Final lap for Brent Harold. Big bounce over the finish line. He's cranking that rear steer today. He really wants this bad. Love the sound of those turbos on that LS.
Change order is one of those rigs that you don't even have to see it coming, but if you hear it, you know it's change order.
You sure can, Mac, and he's going to use those turbos all the way over the finish line. Let's see how Brett wound up. Wow, Brent Harold just shot right into first place by over 9 seconds.
We had a pretty good race. The track was nice and smooth. Everything felt great. And, you know, you got to be consistent here to win something like this, you know. Any given time you break something, you don't want to be in the pits working on your rig. You got to drive smart. So the course was awesome. They did a great job.
Now we got Greg Tori in the barely legal buggy. Greg is one of the most dedicated dudes in this sport. He has literally blown through engines and trannies. The Mafia gave him one of the coveted 2018 Havoc spots.
Great attitude, and he's a heck of a driver. He's here to draw blood today.
Greg has had a pretty big advantage right now. He's been able to see the other competitors go, and it looks like the weather's holding out a little bit for him.
The weather is clearing up and this track is getting faster. We'll see what happens on lap 2.
Great run from Tori so far. Definitely getting more aggressive with this course. No mistakes. He's putting down a pretty good lap.
This is a really fast run. Greg knows he's got to throw down if he wants to raise up out of that overall 4th place position.
I think this is going to be the event for Greg and for him to do that. We don't give the Mafia spots out to too many people. He earned it, and I'm glad to see him doing well here.
Everyone wants to see Greg Tori do good. Wow, he finally finds that sweet spot on lap number 3. Only a couple more jumps and a few corners, and Greg is home free.
Barely legal, lap number 3, 76 seconds right now on the clock. This is going to be a good run. He is definitely setting the pace, hopefully to be on the podium here.
That is a great time. Greg's going to be very happy with that. Let's see where it puts him. Wow, 2nd place. Great job from Greg Tori, right behind the leader.
Now up, Nolan Scopliak. We call him Big Scope. He's a big dude, and his driving never disappoints.
Yeah, Nolan's gnarly. He's going to try to negotiate this course, miss those puddles, smooth and fast. Fast in, faster out of these corners.
Nolan's a contender. He's throwing some roosts around that last corner of lap number 1. He's putting in a great time.
The track is getting faster. The weather is clearing up even more. This is really good for Nolan.
For sure, Ben. The weather is getting better, but Nolan's got a lot to live up to in this competition. He also got voted in.
The pressure is on. Nolan is sitting in 5th position overall right now, and he's letting his driving do the talking. We call this guy Air Gordon. Here he comes towards the finish line.
And that there, my friends, is exactly why he earned that name.
Yeah, Gord's pissed. He drives mad all the time. Sees red. I love it. That's why he's one of my favorites.
Fast final lap for Gord, 63.27 seconds. Hopefully he can hold it together.
I'm not sure if he realizes it, but he is close to the leader's pace.
One of the fastest runs we've seen anybody lay down on this track yet today.
And he bobbles at that bottom corner. Where is he going to wind up?
Nice air over that finish. Let's take a look at that leaderboard.
That run was fast. That puts Nolan in 2nd place, but Brent Harold's still holding on to 1st. Rob Neal in the Infidel.
An aggressive looking start from Rob, but it only looks like his front wheels are turning.
Yeah, he's either broken or his transfer case kicked out, which can happen sometimes. I'm not sure what's going on yet.
That was a different line from Rob that we haven't seen yet today through that standing water.
Yeah, Rob seems to be aiming at the puddles, running front wheel drive. We'll see if it works out good for him.
I'm surprised, Ben. In 2-wheel drive, he's getting through this course pretty fast.
It seems to be working for him. Rob always drives hard. He's full throttle out here. And he's pushing around this course.
Good jump from Rob. Again, taking that very tight inside line and getting pretty wet.
Rob keeps ripping the 4-wheel steering, and he tends to like that inside line.
Rob qualified in Canada, and these guys would like nothing more than to take this trophy home up north.
And that's not going to be easy when you got drivers like Leroy Leam and Brent Harold representing the U.S. Plus, he's only a 2-wheel drive.
This is definitely a true North American event. The Canadians would love to take this home, and with people like Rob and then also Foss Hog on deck coming up, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, it could go either way. There's some heavy hitters coming out of Canada, like you mentioned, Brian Foss, pretty unstoppable so far in this event. We still have 3 events to go.
Rob putting down a great run, even though he's in 2-wheel drive. I think, he can't be upset with this.
He should be pretty happy with that, landing him in 3rd place, 85 seconds.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. My TK's popped out, so I was only in front wheel drive. If I would have known that, it would have been a lot faster, I'll tell you what. But it is what it is, and yeah, sometimes you can't, things are out of your control, eh?
Leroy Leam on the line, rocking that rear engine big block Ford that he calls Monster Buggy. Expect nothing but a clinic from this guy.
Yes, sir, the doctor is in, going huge off that first jump. This is Leroy Leam, MD, He's been dominating this Havoc style racing from the beginning. He built this rig in 2009. He's won the last 3 Mountain Havocs and a bunch of Havocs in Canada. I also believe he's won every Idaho Top Truck Challenge except for one. He's on fire right now.
You're right, Ben. That was a blazing first lap from Leroy. Not to mention sitting in first place tied with Brian Foss overall standings.
He's showing us why he's the champ right now. Leroy knows his rig very well. He knows exactly what he can put it through and what it'll take.
Another fast lap for the L. He is absolutely flying through this course and, like I said, putting on that clinic.
Final lap it is. He knows he has to push it as hard as he can to take that lead away from Brent Harold. Jumps for show, corners for go, but Leroy does it all.
It's pretty remarkable. Even with all this pressure on him, he's still so relaxed and chill in that driver's seat.
Yep, and that's why all the drivers watch him. They study his lines. Leroy Latham over the finish. Let's see where he winds up.
Not quite fast enough to beat Brent Harold. Leroy Latham taking the second spot.
They dropped the flag and we went. I think we hit my plan was to not get too much air, and right off the bat, we hit that first one way harder than I should have. But I didn't know with the mud and traction. But it was smooth, everything went quick, and then like I said, after that, we just got pretty muddy and just tried keeping it on the course and trying to keep it smooth and consistently quick.
We've been waiting for this. This is 15-year-old Brent Harold. His dad is in first place right now, and Brent's gonna see if he can't change that.
Brent doesn't even have a driver's license yet, and he has full opportunity to take down his dad today.
We've seen him race before. I've had my eye on him for a while. He's a great driver. He's learning fast. Got some awesome teammates to learn from, and he's off to a great start right now.
It's true when people say age is just a number. This guy is driving like a pro.
This is his shot at Havoc superstardom. He also has a lot to live up to. We did a driver vote this year where last year's top competitors voted on who they wanted to race against, and Brett was top of the list.
And what a great privilege. I can't imagine being able to race with these guys being your peers and then them voting you in.
He's already earned their respect. They wanted to race against the fast guys, and they thought he was one of them.
And here he is throwing down a great, fast, consistent run.
This is his last lap of a really fast run, but this is when the fatigue starts to set in and you can make mistakes.
Brent, we're rooting for you, buddy. We hope you can put it together here and beat your dad.
I don't know if he has what it takes to beat the old man, but that's why we race. Finish line in sight. We're about to find out.
Brent proving that he's running with the big dogs, but he's not stopping at that finish, Ben.
I think he's going for a parade lap here. Whoa! He tips it over.
I'm sure Brent's fine. Let's go to the leaderboard.
Great run from Brent, landing him in third, but not quite, bud. Your dad's still in first.
The hill and hole felt pretty good. Didn't know that I'd finish, so I was going to do another lap, but that one didn't work out too well for me. When I rolled over, I was more concerned about the buggy than the crowd, what my dad was going to say, so I flipped and dumped all my oil, so I need to fill it up with some more Rams oil, and then I'll be good for the rock course.
Steven Montpass and Green Willie's 3.0. Steven's a veteran driver, but this truck and rig is new to him.
That's right. He's still got a ton of tuning to do. He just finished it. He hasn't really tested it. Thankfully, he's got his boy Jeremy Moore in the co-driver position, communicating with him, helping him get around this track. He kept this rig completely secret from us. He's looking to build something more competitive to keep up with these newer buggies that are turning up these days.
The one thing that is tried and true with Steven are those Interco boggers. Those things, he knows them so well.
He bleeds Interco blood, and he makes it clear. He stands behind him, and they work really well for him. And we're glad to see him getting some support from a company like that. He certainly deserves it.
For an unproven rig for Steven and not a lot of seat time, he is throwing down some quick times. 51 seconds, lap 2.
Not bad at all, especially for a new rig. Green Willie is screaming. These times are really close to each other. Every second counts. Every mistake will cost you.
You got Jeremy Moore telling Steven what to do. You can tell he's getting maybe a little more aggressive, and he's hitting that pedal hard. He wants to win this thing.
Absolutely. Steven's letting it all hang out as usual. One of the funnest guys to watch race.
Steven looks to be a little bit off pace here. Probably not enough to clinch that podium spot.
We're about to find out as we go to the leaderboard. There we go. Steven landing in 6th place. Brent Harold still holding down the lead.
Last competitor of the day is none other than Brian Foss and Foss Hog. I can't wait to see this pig absolutely destroy and eat up this course.
That's right, Mac. Love him or hate him, this is the Foss Hog on course. Now's the time to find your safe space. Let's see what he can do.
Definitely in the tallest and gnarliest rig out there.
Sporting 1,000 horsepower, tied for first place as of now with Leroy Leam, and off to a great start so far.
Foss is unfazed and focused. He is on a mission to win this for Canada.
If I know Brian Foss, and I do, he's got that crazy laugh going inside his helmet right now. He's having a great time out here, I guarantee it, as he wipes with this course.
The timer shows it. He's got one more lap to go. Let's see if he can hold it together for Canada.
With high speeds and jumps like this, these top drivers gotta be nervous. This is the fastest run we've seen all day, and there's only half a lap left.
Can he hold it together? This is exactly where drivers tend to make their mistakes. Currently, Brian is sitting first place tied overall.
Brian's proving to be that force of horsepower and metal. He's got one corner and one jump left. The clock says he's going to do it. It's all milky cereal, baby, for Brian Foss.
Brian Foss wins Amsoil Hillenhole.
Really sneaky out there, hard to keep control, especially with 1,000 horsepower. You're just like everywhere. But other than that, it was just fun. The rocks are next, and I got big tires, I got horsepower, and we're going to need all that this time because they are wet. So we're going to see how to get over those suckers. We'll impress for sure.
Let's scope the leaderboard with our overall standings. Foss in the lead, followed by Latham and Harold.